Razavan at FightHype.com with me. I've got my man all the way from the United States, Mr. Espinoza. Sir, how are we?
I'm great. Happy to be here in London.
Obviously, you've flown over all the way from the big place of America to the small place of England, showing serious intent with signing up Anthony Joshua to Showtime today. You want to talk to me a little bit about this deal?
Yeah, the deal is it's a big step for us. The heavyweight division has become much more interesting over the last 6 months. If we go back in time a year, it was a pretty dormant division. The assumption was that Klitschko's were going to be dominant. Tyson Fury changed all that last fall, and it's been wide open ever since. So with the emergence of Fury and obviously continued performance at a high level of Anthony and Deontay Wilder, and there's just a lot more interest in the division, and this seemed like a wise move to get him on our network early in his career.
How big do you think Anthony Joshua can be? Currently, he's selling out stadiums in 20 minutes and 10 minutes, and if you look at the opponents he has been fighting over the last couple of years, that he has been professional, all due respect to them, they haven't really been those big high names, and he's selling out 20,000 arenas in 10-15 minutes. So how big do you think he can actually be now?
The sky's the limit with him. He's obviously got the amateur pedigree. He's immensely popular here in the UK in a very short amount of time. And the US is sort of his to conquer. Deontay Wilder and others have something to say about that, but in terms of having all the tools to be a true crossover star, Anthony has them. He's, first of all, and most importantly, a very skilled boxer, a very impressive puncher, and people in the UK and the US and worldwide like that. But he's also articulate, he's well-spoken, he's grounded, he's humble, and he's got his head on straight. So it's been a while since we've seen someone with that combination of attributes, and certainly someone who has had this level of success so early in his career.
Are you able to get into some more detail about this deal? Is it a certain amount of fights he's going to have on the channel?
It's a multi-fight deal. We're keeping the specifics quiet, but really the goal is not just this deal. The goal is that we would be his U.S. network for his entire career.
Yeah. Obviously, a massive fight that's been built up at the moment, and Eddie Hearn, we spoke to Eddie Hearn last week, and he did confirm that negotiations, and all due respect to Klitschko and Dominic, were well underway with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, and that'll be an absolute huge fight for the UK and the heavyweight division. Is Anthony ready for that kind of step up to face someone like Tyson Fury?
Well, from everything that I've heard, I believe so. He's strong, he's athletic, and they've moved him very quickly. He's for someone with his number of fights, he's fought fairly advanced competition, certainly relative to other heavyweights at his level. So time will tell. But I think, given his performances, there really is no choice but to continue to move him forward. Another key reason why we entered the deal is because those fights are on the horizon. Anthony's not a guy, and Eddie's not a guy that are going to waste their time treading water. I think the Tyson Fury fight or Klitschko fight is very makeable. David Haye is very makeable. Joseph Parker may end up being the mandatory very shortly. The Deontay Wilder fight is very makeable. So we don't do this deal unless there's a whole range of makeable fights, and there is a wealth of opportunities for Anthony.
Currently in the UK, there's more world champions than America. This would be hard if you put the maps together and the volume of fighters in America compared to the UK, and America bypass us significantly. How do you think the UK has just taken over almost all the world titles, and how has it happened so suddenly?
It's a mysterious phenomenon, to be quite honest. I think part of it, sociologically and culturally, the UK doesn't have American football and basketball to the extent that they're taking a lot of those good athletes away. Probably if Anthony Joshua had grown up in the United States, he probably would have become a running back, in American football, or a linebacker. He would have been pushed into football. And that's to a large extent what's happened to a lot of the heavyweights in the United States, is they're being pushed into basketball and football. Now, obviously, there are other sports in the UK that draw great athletes. But in the heavyweight division in particular, there's that. And really, the UK has done a great job of keeping the sport alive. So you've got to congratulate the promoters and the fighters in the UK for keeping the fan base alive, keeping the sport in front of the youth, and having a good youth program so that all of a sudden you've blossomed and you've got, wherever we're at now, 12 or 13 world champions from the UK, which is more than any other time in history.